Here we go. Hey, this is Rod Yoth. I'm with PRB Plus Magazine, and we are here today with the Park People podcast. Our guest is Nicolas Breedlove. He is the founder and CEO of NVB Playgrounds. They manufacture and distribute playground equipment to roughly 350 distributors across the U.S. Nicolas wrote an article for us. It's in the January issue, and it talks about adult fitness trails, which is a segment of the playground world that is kind of growing in popularity. It's titled From Trail to Training Hub, The Hidden Power of Social Design and Outdoor Fitness. There's a link to the article in the liner notes here for this podcast. Nicolas, welcome to the show. Appreciate having you.
Appreciate.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's making adult fitness trails so popular?
Oh, I mean, adult fitness trails being so popular. I think that adults have just been overlooked as a segment to the world for a long time. I mean, we were expected to go out there in nature and just use it as it was. And in the meantime, we've all conglomerated into these cities, and now it's about making sure that we can still use the outdoor spaces we have best we can with some good machines that really help us get more in touch with fitness, and I think that there's no better place for us human beings to be is than outside. And that's the basis of that article is, it's about the real design and the problems that you have a lot of times when those types of parks fail, because we've all seen those fitness equipment in various places, and if it's not placed in that social setting where people are really going to use it, it's just going to get ignored at the end of the day. And it's all about the behaviors that we have. Where are you placing it? Is there the right traffic? Is it for the right group? There's fitness equipment nowadays for people in wheelchairs, people out of wheelchairs, senior citizens, non-senior citizens. There's resistance-based fitness equipment. You've got the equipment, the outdoor fitness equipment industry has really expanded, and it's exploded since I've been in the business. I've been in the business now for about 20 years. And when I started, it was just kind of like getting a little bit of traction, and people still looked on it, but like they did for a little bit of time. It was this overseas trend, right? Everybody saw it as this European thing and this Chinese thing, and they didn't really think like, this isn't going to catch form in America. There's no way. And then all of a sudden, you see them in a big park, and then you see them in a smaller park, and now you see them in trails, and that's kind of, the basis of it is, trying to understand how to really incorporate that design and that equipment into something that the community is actually going to use, rather than just placing it because it's where people congregate. And
It's funny because I was in. You said it was kind of came over from Europe, right? Or considered a European thing. Just last summer, I guess it was last summer, we were over in Italy for a family trip, and we stopped. We were on we did a cruise thing, and we were on a excursion on a bus, and hey, we got to stop at the gas station. It's the only restroom you're going to have for 12 hours. Make sure you use it. Anyway, so we did that. We jumped up, and you walk around the back of this gas station, and there's one of these little fitness areas, right? And nobody was using it. Of course, it was pretty run down. And I'm thinking to myself, on one hand, I get it. Okay, a lot of people here, right? Maybe truck drivers, maybe, it's a good, quick, stretch your legs kind of thing. But at the same time, also from an American perspective, a very weird place to have, a fitness center. So what are the good places? Like if you want to bring this in, you want it to be successful, what are the tried and true? Are there any tried and true, you know, rules here that can increase the odds of it being really used by the community?
I think you said it, that last word you said there is, it's the most important piece, right? It's community. And
Okay.
it's the reason why all these parks exist. And it's one of the foundations of my company. And that's you know, what we provide as a company and what most manufacturers provide is a place where community begins, right? And that is why I love doing what I do, because it's a park or a fitness place, whatever. It's where Your kids learn other kids' names. It's where you learn your neighbors' names. And with fitness equipment, it's the same thing. Parallel workouts, it's casual conversations, it's group, it's all that. There's a lot of adults love fitness. I like it. I don't love it, but I will admit I do like it a lot. But I don't love it. I don't love the activity of it, but I know that I have to keep doing it. But
Yeah.
and I think that the more you incorporate the socialism, the social setting of it, the ability for people to communicate in a casual conversation in public and build that community bond, which is why parks exist in the first place. So,
So is it
how
like, I'm
go
sorry to
ahead.
cut you off. Is it
No,
like
it's
best
on.
to have it near busy trailheads? Is it best to put it near playgrounds where kids are, maybe they're bringing their kids there and that's a good strategy. Parents can get a workout. Or does it more have to be like really thought out and integrated into the overall design? Because I'm assuming a lot of these are being added into existing park spaces, right? I mean, I'm sure there are new builds going on and it's always easier to think about that up front when you're building something new. But for most people, I'm assuming they're putting them into an existing space, right? So is trails the big unique qualifier? Is there any kind of amenity that they really work well next to that you've noticed over time, like a trend?
I mean, I feel like the trend more recently is like not building out a new space. That initial construction of fitness equipment is unlike playground equipment. You don't have to have a lot of groundwork and prep work, and you don't need to grade off, an acre of land to put in a piece of fitness equipment, right?
Yeah,
Fitness equipment is like a bench, right? And
yeah,
if you can create a great scenario along a trail, that's great. Most playgrounds that I visit with my kids, there's a trail somewhere.
yeah,
And that trail is a great spot for two adults to be able to do something like this. And it's just a matter of, budgeting, making sure that, you get the right equipment. Because like you said there, there's such a selection nowadays that, you can't accommodate for everybody's needs. At the end of the day, you really can't. But you could definitely create some cohesive design within the equipment choices that help you
sure. So
create more
I've
engagement.
seen two strategies just as the patron, right? I've seen the strategy where there's one fitness area. It's a little bigger, has multiple elements, obviously in a high traffic area or a community social space. And then what I'm starting to consider, and this is probably ignorant of me, just throw that out there, but an older model where there's stations, like there's one element along a trail, and I think the concept is maybe you're walking or running and you stop and you hit that element and you go another mile and you hit another or whatever it is, half mile and you hit another element. Is that strategy kind of like going by the wayside, and are people going more towards just one place with multiple equipment, or is it still all over the board?
I mean, I think it's all over the board. I think that when you
Uh-huh.
when you have that, go for the nature trail, it reduces the intimidation factor a lot of people have. Not everybody likes to be around each other and work out. You know, I mean, so there is an intimidation element when it comes to adults and being fit and working out and doing that kind of thing, especially when you're in public. You have no privacy,
Yeah,
or you do. And those when you do offer a little bit of privacy to the activity. You're still
yeah.
in nature, you get a little bit of privacy. And that's something that
Okay.
most people aren't able to provide themselves in their own home or their own backyard sometimes.
Yeah. So I've seen you kind of see the standard elements, right? Like so you guys sell these, so you might have some insight into this. What are the most from a park standpoint, like what do you sell the most of? Like um there's the dip bars, there's the pull-up bars, there's the incline sit-up bars. I mean, there's some other elements that have hinges that I can't remember what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think the most that we sell, when it comes to adult equipment, is the individual units. So they often combine, we manufacture like two different basic types of elements. We offer like an individual based equipment, and then we offer stuff that is welded together and either a duo or a trio of equipment. That
Yeah.
means up to 3 users at a time.
Okay.
I think that traditionally that singular unit is more popular. I do see a lot more that buy it in courses. A lot less people buy individual units, and a lot of people buy courses. A lot of
Courses.
people
Okay.
they like to. It's easy to plan. It's easy
Yeah.
to plan for one spot. It's harder to plan for 10 spots. You
Okay,
know,
so is that the difference? Like if you buy a course, what do you mean by a course? Do you mean like they, 10 elements that are supposed to design to kind of go together, and whether you put them next to each other or whether you spread them out is up to you, or
yeah.
are
I
they
mean,
designed to all be in a circuit in one area?
they're designed for a circuit for more of a full body workout, would you have if you would, depending on how you use it. But I think that the full body workout is traditionally they do group those a lot of times. They group those together. When we've
Group
seen
those
people
together. Okay.
buy, 5 to 10 of the same unit, then they are often putting those scatter those across a park in a trail setting.
Gotcha.
So,
So that's an
and
interesting question. When people buy, let's say they buy 5 to 10 of the same unit, right? What unit do they most often choose? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
less movement. So there's like skiers and there's things that move a lot and there's like not mechanically, but they're definitely movement. And a
Yeah,
lot of a lot of times people are going to buy more of the stationary items that are because you're talking maintenance, right? And
right.
you've got park people or school or community people, and they have to maintain that. And if it's fixed, there's a lot less maintenance requirement
Mhm.
in a stationary product than if you have a moving component.
And if somebody wants to do a course, what's a reasonable from, I'm kind of, giving the fox letting the fox in the hen house here, but what's a reasonable budget? Like what should people like if they're going to do it fairly well, what should they expect to spend?
When it comes to adult fitness equipment, it's all over the board, but I would
Uh-huh.
say the the most expensive course we've done has probably been in the probably closer to 100,000.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I'd say that a reasonable course for individual units for probably 6 to 8 units is somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000.
Yeah. And what's does it have to have the safety surfacing under it, or does it can it have
Doesn't need to
mulch
have the
or
safety surfacing. There have been some regulations over the past few years, but as long as you don't have your pinch points, as long as you're abiding by things, and if you end up putting
yeah,
it in a playground, then all of a sudden you got to apply to ASTM for playground equipment. So,
right.
keeping it out of that play area is integral
Not a bad
to,
idea.
yeah,
Yeah, so is there where I was going at is you got $6,000 to $8,000, so $10,000, somewhere in that ballpark. You can get a nice little setup. What
absolutely.
is that? That's probably plus some install and groundwork and whatever, but
A little bit minor. I mean,
minor,
there's
yeah,
not a lot of, with most of these units, you have between 1 and 4 holes to dig. Maybe that's, I don't know, probably 25 bags of concrete if you do bag concrete.
yeah,
It's not that
right.
bad.
It's not bad, yeah, okay. And the maintenance, if they're not the movement type items, is relative, maybe repainting every now and then or something, that's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, just make sure you don't have any, use patterns around whatever surfacing ended up there. But other than
Yeah,
that, it's not too bad.
yeah, okay. What advice would you have for anybody who's looking at doing this? Like, they've never done it before. This is a very open-ended question. I know. I apologize, but
No,
it's
it's all right.
hey, I want to do this. How do I get started? I mean, we always tell people to just start contacting the manufacturers because they're tend to be the experts. But is this something you need to go to an architect, landscape architect for, or
I mean, if that's who you do business with and you trust them to help design, if you've got a great architect that takes into consideration, variables that I'm not smart enough to think about, absolutely, when
okay,
it comes
sure.
to social use and, all that type of stuff. But, I think when it comes to traffic patterns and really where do you want people to go? And where do you want the
Mhm.
trash? Or where do you want your people to go? You
Mhm.
know, how far down the fitness trail do you really want to have make your guys walk,
Ah, there you
to
go.
deal with
Right,
the maintenance, right? Like,
right.
do you want to maintain area A or area A through D?
Yeah.
So it's always one of those things, because that's one of the hidden factors in this entire industry, really, is maintenance. People
Right.
buy a playground, or they buy this, or they buy fitness, and then it's like, oh, by the way, you
Yeah.
need to maintain
Here's the
this.
real cost.
Yeah. Let me tell you the real cost over the next 12 months,
Yeah.
or the
Right.
next 10 years.
Is there any strategy to, like, hey, having it close to a restroom or having it close to a water fountain, or just, it's meant to be outdoors. It's meant to be, whatever. I've never seen that, but do people take that into consideration, or is that not even a talking point?
I mean, talking point for sure. Furniture is always, adjacent, I think, is always a decent idea when it comes to spacing. We've already discussed it a little bit. And then, there's lighting. I think lighting can assist in those types of things, but again, that it ends up adding to your budget. So,
Yeah. Right.
it's about the intent at the end of the day. Like, what are you intending for this space? And, who's your core audience, and is it a safe place to be at night?
Right.
Otherwise, if the lights are off, the message is pretty clear. Don't come
Right.
around.
Right. Right. There you go. Cool. Well, good. Well, I think I have more questions. You're the expert. If is there anything that, if you were me, that you would have asked yourself, like anything we didn't cover that we should have?
I mean, you did a great job. I'm never gonna critique you. You did a
No,
great
no,
job,
that's okay. I critique away.
No,
Everybody else does. I'm married.
no.
I live with it.
Oh, well, all of us that are married all also live with critiques, but
Yeah.
we love them either way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Right.
So no, I mean, I think that, when it comes to fitness equipment, I mean, I love it. It's pretty cool stuff. I've been around it since I've been in this business, because, some of the first vendors I was doing business with her were in Europe and China and over in Taiwan, and I've met a lot of those people that make this stuff for a long time, and I think it's come a long way in the last 20 years, and it's got a long way to go, and even in the last year, it's come a long way. So I think it's a good thing. It's a great thing for communities to offer. And there's one way or the other, there's less and less kids and more adults. So we've got to
Yeah.
take care of them.
Yeah. I like it. Well, good. Well, Nicholas, thanks for your time. I appreciate you joining us here.
Thank you, Remy.
Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch up again soon, I guess, sometime.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
See ya.